Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and today we're talking about the North Carolina Tar Heels team preview with our best professional sportscaster in training ever, the one that is coming up directly under Mr. Vincent Turner, the football encyclopedia. You could be the football cliff notes for now, and then as you progress and grow yourself, you go from being the football Cliff Notes guy to being the football almanac, and then you can eventually become a football encyclopedia yourself, sir. So without further ado, Mr. Logan Landers, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Jeremiah? Like you said, I'm in training. I'm trying to get my way up to the football encyclopedia. I'll get there in a little while. I got to catch up to my guy, VT, Vincent Turner. But I'll get there one day, though. I'm going to keep grinding. And like I say, I'm under his wing right now learning all this. So I'll get there one day. But for now, I'm ready to just talk some football with you, as always, on Mondays, bright and early, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, man, we got the North Carolina Tar Heels. Great team.
Absolutely. And, just saying that too, I do these shows each week with you, Monday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single week. You can count on it, my friends. And I've listened to these team previews, your interviews, your player previews, game sessions. And I would just like to say, Mr. Landers, thank you for the hard work you're putting in, not just for us here at 100 Yards, but for all the people watching, because the information coming across has depth. You can tell that you're well researched, and we just really appreciate you. So without further ado, let's hear about them Tar Heels.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. So the Tar Heels, man, they have a tremendous team led by the legendary Mack Brown, who's been in college football for a long time now. And he's coming back, man, with this team. Right now, they're ranked 18th to start the season. They have a great shot at getting, I think, they could potentially, if all things go well, they might have a chance of getting in that top 5. Who knows? Because they have a tremendous team. They have good guys on offense and defense. They have an amazing head coach. So they have a lot of talent in this program. And it all starts with the QB. I always like to talk about them first because they're the heart and soul of this program. It is Sam Howell. This guy is about to be a first-round draft pick. Some people might even say he's the best quarterback next up in the NFL draft. So whenever this guy leaves, he is a guaranteed first-round talent. And, I don't blame him at all. His first year, he threw for over 3,600 yards. Then he followed that up again by throwing pretty much close to it. So it's looking like this guy, depending on how much, if he keeps coming back or if he leaves after this season, he could throw over 100 touchdowns in his career and get close to 10,000 career passing yards, which is phenomenal. He's definitely going to be one of the best quarterbacks, and whether it be the 2022 draft, we'll have to see. But, man, he is definitely a threat and one of the best passers, not just in the ACC, not where North Carolina is, but just in college football, man. And the thing about him that I like is that they are efficient. He completes over 60% of his passes, which is phenomenal. That means he's not just throwing the ball, chucking it up, and just kind of hoping that the receivers get it. Now, he's giving them bullets. He's giving them things to catch in, and he's got a great talent, man. I really like how Sam Howell conducts himself and how he is as a quarterback. And also, they have a lot of really other good players on that squad as well. They got Jordan Tucker coming back. He's a senior at the offensive line, so that's really going to help him out. Help protect the QB. That's always a good factor to have. They got Ty Chandler, the running back, who's had a really good year, who's done really good things for North Carolina. So I think he's going to be solid. And the thing for me is a few of their best players on offense, they're at the offensive line. They have a lot of really good guys who are there, who are veterans, who've been doing some great things. And I think that with a good offensive line, with a good with some good offensive line, some good weapons, and now you got Ty Chandler who's coming in. I think that he's going to be a good factor. He's going to help out with the offense. He's not going to make it one-dimensional, which is what you never want to have. You're going to have a guy who's coming in. Of course, North Carolina, they lost 2 of their backs with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams in the NFL draft, but they're getting Ty Chandler coming over from Tennessee. So I think that, he's a senior. He's had some experience on the ground. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's ran for a lot of yards, and I think that he's going to be going for at least 1,000-yard season potentially. He's got a lot of talent, and especially with Sam Howell throwing the ball for however many he can throw for, there's going to be teams who are going to forget about Ty Chandler back there in the backfield, And I think that he's going to get a lot of good carries, and he's going to help out that offense and make it just even more explosive. So I think that overall, man, this offense is absolutely lethal. They have a lot of good guys. And I think that if their offense can click just even a little bit of what they've done last year and the last few seasons, because they've been getting better and better over the last couple of seasons, North Carolina could be a sleeper pick for a lot of teams this year. And I don't blame them. This team is led by a lot of good talent, and their offense is definitely going to be, I think, once again, one of the best in college football. But we got to talk about the defense as well. We can't leave those guys out. We got to talk about the defense, talk about how they're going to impact this season. And I think their best player this year is going to be Tom Fox. He's a senior coming in. He's their linebacker, and he is just powerful. That is just what I love to describe him as. He is a powerful linebacker, man. 6'4", 265. He's a veteran. He's played a lot of snaps. So I think that he is going to be their big playmaker once again for the defensive side of the ball, man. He's an absolutely amazing guy. He's in his 6th season, so he's coming back for that super senior. He's played a lot for North Carolina, and I think that you have a guy who's gotten a lot of sacks, a lot of tackles for this program. He bleeds North Carolina blue, so I think that he's going to have another great season with them. His last one, I don't think they can keep around for a whole lot longer. They're going to have to, eventually just kick him out. But he's had a great career, though, and I think he's going to, finish his career in a great way for North Carolina. So I think that, he's going to be the big key for the linebacking position. Also, you got Jeremiah Jimmel, who's also a really good player. He's a senior as well. And that's the thing I like about their defense is that they have a lot of guys who are veterans, who are either juniors, who are seniors. So they have guys who are experienced. They have guys who are really helpful. They're going to get a lot of experience. They've been playing for a lot of snaps for North Carolina. They know the system. They know how they're going to do things. And I think that might be helpful and beneficial for them, this year to get that one final push before it looks like they might have to take a step back and get all these new recruits in and start having to kind of not rebuild, but retool their program a little bit. But I think that they have a very, very good mix of players. They have an amazing head coach. I think that this team is absolutely solid, man. They have an amazing program, and I'm curious to see just how far they can actually go this year. Like I said, they're ranked at 18. I think if everything goes well, they can get in the top 10 at least, top 5 potentially if all things go well. Yeah. But they have a pretty good schedule, man. Like I said, they lost a lot of guys, whether it was in the NFL draft. Some guys might have left to get transferred. But I think it's all right, though. But the one key for me, though, for this year is they have to create more turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. Because that's always key, especially late game situations. If you're close, if you're only winning by 3, you got to get that late either sack, that late fumble, turnover, whatever it is. You got to get that. And they struggled a little bit with that last year. They struggled with guys who didn't get interceptions as much as you would like. So I think they'll be fine, though. But that's just one key where I think they can improve on overall. But looking at their schedule, though, it's pretty manageable. They play a few tough teams. I see they play Miami, who we just spoke about. They play Notre Dame, who's always going to be a threat. They play Pittsburgh. They play North Carolina State. They're rivals, of course. And they face our guys, Georgia Tech. So I think that overall, though, this North Carolina team is a solid program. Like I said, I think they could. I think the two real tests are going to be against Miami, who we just spoke about, who was a top 25 team, and then Notre Dame, who's they've been a powerhouse since college football's been alive. So if they can split those series, if they can get one win against those teams, I call that a success. If you win both, that's a special year for me. So I think that North Carolina has a lot of great tools. They lost some guys, of course, to the draft. They got a lot of veterans coming back this year. So I think that overall, man, North Carolina's going to have a solid season.
Whew. Well, I could definitely see that as well. Like, I know they have a lot of challenges and they've got a lot of things that they need to really work on, but you've got a team that really wants to get back at it. And I mentioned this in each of the videos, now, and I'll keep mentioning in all these team previews, but I'm sure the fans cannot wait to be back in the stadium, watching these games live with the feels, with the smells, the food, the drinks, the fellowship, the tailgating. Every part of that aspect will get us back to a great football season. It's going to be an very life-changing college football season, I think, because I think some of these teams, and maybe North Carolina will be one of them, have come up with some special plays, some special ways of doing things, or maybe have just changed the way fundamentally that they operate their programs during this last interesting season we had. So coming in here, just think, it's like everybody had a bye week for like almost an entire year, and now what did you do with it? So just like with other pandemic things, if you spent some quality time, putting some hard work in, you're coming into this season with some amazing tools that you didn't have before. So I congratulate the Tar Heels on coming back and getting ready to put this amazing season in. And Mr. Landers, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking forward to just see how Sam Howell does this year. Potential Heisman winner. You never know. He has a lot of great stats. The offense production has just gotten better and better. We'll have to see how he can do, man. We'll have to see if he can get a Heisman winner for the North Carolina Tar Heels. But overall, I think they're gonna have a solid season. One, maybe two losses might be their record on the year. I think they're gonna rack up a lot of wins as long as everyone stays healthy. They have a great core. They have guys who have been playing there for a long time. They have an amazing head coach. Everything's looking right for North Carolina. This might be their last big push before they have to rekindle the whole team. But I'm looking forward to see how they're going to be doing. I think they're definitely a top 10 team at the end of the year.
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you guys think that are watching? Do you think that the Tar Heels will be a top 10 team by the end of the year? I see a pretty great path for them if they do all their hard work and they really put it in. If you are watching us right now, thank you so much. We love all of our viewers. All of the shares you're doing over into Facebook, over telling everybody about us, and just mentioning us to your friends and family, it's extremely helpful, and we really appreciate it. But if you're not on our podcast yet, jump over and listen to our podcast. We put out a new podcast pretty much every single day at 100 Yards of Football. So just search 100 Yards of Football, and we're going to get you there. We have team previews, we have interviews, we have classic teams, we have specials about all of the different college football teams, NFL teams, and even some coverage of some of the high school teams or where people came from and what programs were important. So listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, or anywhere else that you listen to podcasts. Well, for the entire team here at 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio, I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and we've been talking with Logan Landers about the University of North Carolina's football team for the college preview in the year 2021, and we'll be right back with another live video.